What is going on, guys? Nathan here with a Team Fortress 2 gameplay commentary, here playing as the Machina sniper in a Valve Upward pub. So the players are a little bit derpy in the server because generally on Valve servers there are newer players than, like Lotus Clan or even Skyle servers. But anyway, let's just wait here. Yes, thank you. That was a collateral headshot, ladies and gentlemen. Very proud of that. And I yelled into the mic, which obviously you can't hear because that would be annoying to interrupt the commentary. Anyway, we're going to be playing with the Machina today, and I'm a huge fan of the Machina at the moment, at least in pubs, because in pubs, players, because they're a little bit newer, tend to not, take into account your tracer round, which, so it doesn't really register in their mind that they're being shot at by a sniper who is very capable of one shot killing them. So people, I don't know, to me generally it's just extra damage, and that's pretty much it. And I also do like having the tracer round on the Machina, even if, enemies can see where I'm firing from, but I like seeing where I thought I clicked and where the server actually picked up where my round flew. And it kind of helps me get better in that regard, and that's to anyone who's actually looking to get better at sniper, at least in pubs, is if you find, through tracer rounds, if you find that you're constantly leading your target a little bit too much, you can find that out using these tracer rounds and then adjust your aim accordingly and possibly get better, and that's mostly what I've been using the tracer rounds for. So that's, I don't know, I'm just a huge fan of the Machina, for extra damage, and I can also kind of better myself as a sniper overall. Plus, I just like something about just having a tracer round, regardless of if it's in video games or in real life. I just like being able to see exactly where my bullet went. It's just interesting to me. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but yeah, so I've been enjoying the Machina so far, and I am actually doing decently well. I'm trying to get my aiming skills back after taking that huge break from TF2, and mostly playing medic, which, your aim isn't as crucial, but your mind definitely is. Medic is a lot of strategy and positioning. At least here, I'm talking competitive sixes, but I basically just wanted to talk about a few things in Team Fortress 2 in this commentary. Nothing really too specific. This will be one of those commentaries where I just kind of ramble on whatever I feel like. So something that was I've been thinking about lately is the changes to the heavy and sort of his miniguns that he has currently in this game. I'm kind of sad to see that Valve nerfed the heavy with that. It's a relatively small nerf. Basically, if you don't know, the heavy has a ramp up now from when he spins up his minigun to 1 second after that, he actually loses damage and accuracy. So like if I spin up, I might hit 10 damage per bullet in very close quarters and not have perfect accuracy, rather than if I wait for a second after revving up, then I'll have that full damage and accuracy. So the reason I think Valve did this was because in pubs where there's no class restrictions, heavies are pretty overpowered. If a team wanted to, they could literally just go heavy, like every single one of them go heavy and win every single round, because like every person on your team has 300 health and is able to own a lot of area and just have a lot of suppression. That's just kind of how that works. But so they introduced a small nerf to that, which I was kind of sad, because in competitive, which, I mean, I keep saying competitive, which I know some people who play pubs a lot might scoff at me, but in competitive, the heavy was like needed all the help he could get, because generally heavies are easy to kill because they're only really effective in close quarters, and he's only really used for like last holds, where he's basically a meat shield rather than his DPM, or like other than use him for his DPM. So I was kind of sad to see him being nerfed, because he really does need all the help he can get for competitive. But in pubs, it's, Valve does have to cater to their majority player base, which is the average player who plays in pubs, because I think competitive players might make up like 5 to 10% of the TF2 population, which is unfortunate. I wish competitive TF2 was more popular. in terms of being played and in being viewed. But whatever, that's acceptable that Valve has to cater to their player base, although it still, does make me a little bit sad. I was also thinking about the Heavy's minigun kit and the miniguns that he has right now. So to me, I think they need a serious looking at, or at least two of them, the Natasha and Tomislav, because the currently as it is, I don't know if it's just in competitive or also in pubs. I mean, pubs is very viable as well for this, for what I'm about to argue, is that none of the miniguns for the Heavy can really compete with the default right now. If we just look at the four miniguns that the Heavy has, we have the default, the Natasha, the Brass Beast, the Hulong Heat Maker, and the Tomislav. That's actually 5, I miscounted. So what we have is basically the Hulong Heater is as much of a side grade as it gets. You're not really trading any damage or any movement speed or anything like the Brass Beast. It's just kind of use extra ammo for this Ring of Fire, so whatever. It's got a little bit of an extra utility for increased ammo consumption. So whatever. That's a good side grade. The Brass Beast is a decent side grade. I think it could be buffed a little bit more, but I mean, currently as it is, if you were to main Heavy running the Brass Beast, you would lose every single time to a Heavy running the default minigun, simply because they will beat you in every surprise encounter, even if you do have increased damage. Plus, you are basically standing still to be headshot with the Brass Beast. Like, to me, default minigun beats Brass Beast every single time, and I think the Brass Beast should be looked at a little bit more. Maybe its spin up time and slower movement speed should be just lessened a little bit. I think the 20% damage bonus is good where it's at right now, in my opinion, because it's not like super overpowered where you're just getting ridiculous damage from across the map, and it's not not noticeable either. Like, you do get increased damage, and especially in Man vs. Machine, this is like, I'm talking more like you really notice the damage in Man vs. Machine, where you're looking for the highest DPM possible to kill the robots. But we move on to the Natasha and the Tomislav, which I feel needs some serious rework, because the Natasha has extra utility in that it slows targets that it hits with bullets, which, unless you're really bad with your aim, I don't see how that's useful at all. If a scout is running at you and you are firing at him and you manage to slow his movement speed, that doesn't mean that you would be able to get a kill off of that if you weren't running that minigun. Like slowing a target does almost nothing, and you're sacrificing minus 25% damage and a 30% slower spin up time, which is roughly half of what the Brass Beast has for to trade off for its damage. So excuse me, the only thing that I like about the Natasha, in truth, and you do have plus 50% max primary ammo, which that doesn't, like, I don't know if that really matters either, because the Heavy's ammo was okay where it was before, and I think that was actually added in a recent patch 3 or 4 months ago. But I think that Natasha should be looked at just to, like, change it up a little bit. Like, you don't need a slower movement speed utility on a minigun for the Heavy, which is really, he's really looking for the highest DPM possible, and slowing targets just has no place in his class as a role. So the only thing I really like about Natasha is its firing sound, to be quite honest. I just like the sort of bassy, I don't know, sound that comes out when it fires. That's like the only thing I like about it. But so I think Natasha should be looked at. And the Tomislav, the only thing I like about Tomislav is how it's silent. Like, this is my go-to minigun for being ninja heavy, where, like, you can just surprise people around corners. But as it is, it will still be outclassed by the default minigun every single time, because it has a 10% faster spin-up time and a 20% slower firing speed. Like, I think that should be balanced out a little bit. If anything, I would change. I would just make it even. Be 10% faster spin-up time, 10% slower firing speed, and you still get the no barrel spin-up sound. Which, I mean, there is a barrel spin-up sound, so I wish they would reword that. But there's no, Well, yeah, there's no barrel spin sound, actually, as I'm looking at the item in-game. So never mind, I was actually wording that wrong. It is no barrel spin sound, not spin up. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that the firing speed, as a nerf to balance out the spin-up time, or the spin-up time, is more valuable than the actual spin-up time. Like, I would trade... I would give up my spin time for firing speed any day of the week because that's how you get highest DPM. So I think that would be an even trade-off. You get 10% faster spin-up time, which isn't as valuable, plus the no barrel spin sound for the minus 10% slower firing speed. Then I think the Tomislav would stand a chance. Ninja Heavy still wouldn't be that overpowered. It's not like, I mean, they're powerful, but it's not like there's something that everybody complains about, like Cough Cough Phlogistinator or Cough Cough Backburner. And I don't know. I just think the Heavy's minigun should be looked at a little bit. And that was kind of just stuff that I was thinking about today. And I think that's where I will wrap up this video. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. I always appreciate it. And feel free to leave a rating on the video if you enjoyed it. And feel free to subscribe for more content like this. Also, today I actually made myself a new YouTube channel banner. So if you want to click on my channel, go check that out. I'm actually pretty proud of it. Pretty proud of any graphical work that I do that turns out really well. Because I am relatively graphically retarded, so when something turns out well, I'm a little bit surprised. And I mean, graphical work does take a lot of work, like a lot of time, a lot of energy to make something spectacular. So even though, you know, my channel banner that I made isn't the most complicated or the best, it represents what I am, and I like it. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys, and I'll see you all later. Peace out.